The 2020 NFL Draft is about a week over now, so let's take a look and see, hey, okay, what did the Cowboys do? We've had a week to digest, and also, what did Mel Kiper give the Cowboys in his draft grades? We'll get to that, but I do want to quickly recap the picks before we break down and react to Mel Kiper's draft grade. CeeDee Lamb in round 1, Trevon Diggs off the board in round 2, Neville Gallimore in round 3, Reggie Robinson in round 4 as the Cowboys double dip at the cornerback spot. Tyler Biadasz out of Wisconsin in a very rare trade up, at least as of late, by the Cowboys. Bradlee and Anae, the immense value in round 5. And then Ben DiNucci, which I think very much was a Mike McCarthy pick in round 7. Now, we've gone over my grades before. Mel Kiper, though, he feels a little bit different. He gave the Dallas Cowboys a B+ in his 2020 NFL draft grades. Now, he did credit the Cowboys for sticking to his board, to their board and taking the value in CeeDee Lamb, ignoring the bigger needs on defense in the process. Now, he does say the Cowboys still have some needs on defense, which is fair. That's understandable. He also says this could end up being an A+ draft by the Cowboys if one of Bradlee or Anae and or Tyler Biadasz end up hitting. Now, Mel did not give Dallas an A. Before we totally freak out on that one, the teams he graded above the Cowboys: an A for the Baltimore Ravens, an A- for the Colts, and an A- for the Vikings as well, which I'm intrigued by the Colts. Then you have teams like the Bills for some reason, the Browns and the Bengals also getting B+. So I want to hear from you guys. Is Mel Kiper just being a hater for giving the Cowboys a B+? Type H if you think he's a hater, or type T if you think he's just being a truther. Now, on principle, I normally don't like criticizing, well, I think they had an A draft, but they got a B+ draft. But I don't like putting the Colts above the Cowboys. That in particular bothers me. And I think Mel's a coward for not giving out more A's. Only 3 of them? There were a lot of drafts that were worthy of an A this past year. So I see pretty much all H's coming in right now in the live chat. So keep those coming. H for hater or T for truther. Now, as a reminder, I gave the Cowboys an A. I loved what they did in this year's NFL draft. They took 3 of my top 40 overall players. I've never once said that about the Cowboys. They got CeeDee Lamb, they got Trevon Diggs, and they got Neville Gallimore. They stuck to their board. This was very clearly a scouts draft, and that I think is a good thing for the Cowboys. And they also found value at positions of needs. That's exactly what you want to do. Simply put, folks, the Cowboys just crushed this year's draft. I don't see any way in which you can't just heap praise upon the Dallas Cowboys. They made the right call, or at least one of the right calls, at pretty much every single spot. I have in the past been very critical of the Cowboys drafting. Not the case this year. I loved what they did. But I also want to hear from you guys. What grade are you giving the Cowboys draft? A, B, C, D, or F? I see the boys already saying A, no doubt. I think it's a pretty easy A for me. Like, I would prefer Christian Fulton, but I'm not going to hate on the Diggs pick either. Yeah, I would have preferred Anthony Gordon at quarterback, but whatever. If your worst pick, emphasizing the quotes in the worst part, is your 7th rounder, that means you did something really, really well in the process. So grade these picks for me. The draft, I should say. A, B, C, D, or F. Now, in his draft grades piece, Kiper spent a lot of time talking, no surprise, about CeeDee Lamb. And he gave the Cowboys credit for sticking to its board. In fact, he was pleasantly surprised the Cowboys went that route, which I think is very accurate because that's exactly how I felt there. Lamb was the number 6 overall player on the Dallas Cowboys big board. The Cowboys have confirmed that. That was the right choice. He put up bonkers production at Oklahoma. Now he goes from Jalen Hurts to a better quarterback in Dak Prescott. The offense should be fun. Have fun covering those big 3 at receiver. I said it during the draft, and I'll say it now again. Find me a team with a better trio at wide receiver right now than Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. I don't think you can do it. I think that trio is the best in the NFL, at least for what we expect to get out of CeeDee Lamb, even as a rookie. Look, he was a top 10 player. He's going to have a very good year. We'll figure out the rest of the depth chart later, but going with CeeDee Lamb put the Cowboys in the fantastic spot that they ended up setting themselves up for the rest of the NFL draft. Speaking of CeeDee Lamb, there is autographed gear available from Lamb on sale at chatsports.com/CD. Came across this, figured some of you might want to know about it. That includes autographed helmets, that cool little poster photo frame right there, footballs as well. I'll put link in the comments and the description as well, but it is chatsports.com/CD. One more time, it is chatsports.com/CD. Go check out all the different gear they have available only at that link. It's a special partnership deal with Fanatics. All right, to the round 2 pick, Trevon Diggs. Kiper never really explained why he didn't give the Cowboys an A, so I'm trying to read between his words here. He wasn't as high on Trevon Diggs. And I guess I get that. If I wasn't as high on Diggs, I'd Fulton above him, but he was worthy of a late round 1 pick, despite what Kiper is saying. It was a brilliant move by the Cowboys. He was the top guy left on their board once again, filled a huge position of need. I loved it from Dallas's perspective. I think that was a very good choice by the Cowboys. I thought they nailed their first 2 picks. I think that was a critical factor in terms of the way things went down. I really like that move by the Dallas Cowboys because what else were you going to do? Not go that route? It simply made sense. So I thought Diggs was a good pick there by the Dallas Cowboys. I also like the Neville Gallimore selection. I know not everyone has. Kiper didn't have much input there, just thought that Gallimore could become a 1-tech or a 3-tech. I am playing with the 3-tech, but I do think that makes some sense for the Cowboys just with what Gallimore brings in terms of on the field, production, his size, all of that. He is, by the way, above 300 pounds. Now, he did drop down from 330, but Neville Gallimore, folks, counts as a fatty only. So if you want a fatties only t-shirt, go get one. Chatsports.com/fatties only. That is chatsports.com/fatties only. The only place you can get it is right there. We'll get that link in the comments and the description as well for you guys. 300-pound men, the Cowboys are going to try and stop the run this year. I like that pick of Gallimore. Now, CeeDee Lamb is my answer for this question because I really wanted CeeDee Lamb. So who is your favorite Cowboys draft pick from this year, obviously? Is it CeeDee Lamb? Is it Neville Gallimore? Is it Reggie Robinson? Do you love the Tyler Biadasz pick? What route do you want to go? Who is it? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Frankly, I don't think there's a wrong answer here because that's how good this Cowboys draft class, I think, is going to end up being. And I'll give you this disclaimer too. If this Cowboys draft class busts, you can all hold me personally responsible because I think it is really, really good. It's pretty much what I would have done. So don't blame the Cowboys. You can blame me this time. How about that? All right, next up was Reggie Robinson. Kiper called him a late riser, which I think is pretty accurate. Showed a lot of growth this year. Cowboys, I like that they double-dipped at corner. I think it could be a good move for them, given that the uncertainty that resides around that entire cornerback room entering the draft, quite frankly. Anthony Brown, at the time, was the only player locked up beyond the 2020 season. Owuzie and Lewis are free agents. Now you've got Worley's also on a 1-year deal. Diggs and Robinson are hopefully staples of your team long-term. And then we'll see what happens in terms of finding the 6 and maybe 7. Maybe. You got 2 extra spots. Maybe you go deep this year at corner, but that's going to be an interesting route the Cowboys choose to go. Now, they got aggressive in round 4 here as well, trading up to go get Tyler Biadasz, the center out of Wisconsin. Reminder, he is not Travis Frederick. However, he was viewed as a first-round pick entering the year, then injuries and some regression in play kind of knocked him down a little bit. If he's healthy, I think he will compete for a starting role, maybe not necessarily in week 1, but as the year goes on, that does happen in the NFL, maybe by year 2, since Louis on a 1-year deal. Maybe at that point, Tyler will be your starting center. If you can get a starter on day 3, that means you crushed that pick. If you get a rotational guy or a good backup, you did really well. Remember that when we go through these other later round draft picks, folks. And we broke down our grades the night of, and we do all kinds of awesome Cowboys coverage for you guys here. So if you have not already, we got about 1,000 people watching live right now, and I bet not all of you are subscribed. Hit that big red button. Do me that favor and subscribe to the #1 Cowboys channel out there. No one has a better audience because you guys are awesome. No one has more subscribers here than us here at the Cowboys Report. So join the club, hit that big red button, and subscribe. Bradlee Anae is next up here, and Mel Kiper actually really liked this one. Kiper was a huge fan of this pick, and I understand why, because much like Kiper, we both had him inside, I think it was our top 80 of top players this year. He's not a great athlete, but Kiper called this one of the best value picks on day 3. Now, as a reminder, Anae is guaranteed nothing right now. Maybe Dorrance Armstrong has that breakout year in year 3. Maybe Joe Jackson impresses. Maybe Jalen Jelk shows up. Maybe Gregory and Smith aren't suspended. So there's going to be a real competition when it comes to the defensive end. How many bodies do they carry? How many roster spots are available? It's going to be a competition. But I think Bradlee Anae, who played pretty darn well at Utah, and by pretty darn I mean he played great. He beat pretty much every offensive lineman that he faced. I think this could end up being a potential steal on day 3. I am almost concerned to ask this question, but how many future starters did the Cowboys get in this draft? I don't think you'll say 7 because I don't think anyone expects Ben DiNucci to start for this team. So how many? Is it 6? Is it 5? If you can get 3 and some good backups, that means you nailed the draft, just so we're clear. Anything more than 3 is a really, really good draft by the Cowboys. I see 4. I think 4 is doable as well. I see some 5s and 6s. So keep those votes coming as to how many starters you think the Cowboys found in the 2020 NFL Draft. All right, wrapping things up here in terms of the draft picks. Ben DiNucci, Kiper did not mention him. I didn't watch him leading up to the draft, and I'm willing to bet that Kiper did not. That's okay. It happens. I've been looking through the film for DiNucci, and I see why the Cowboys took him. There's some promise there. But in the end, even if the Cowboys didn't have a round 7 pick, period, they had themselves one heck of a draft. So I disagree with Mel Kiper. It's not a B-plus draft, folks. The Cowboys, they deserve an outright A. Hey, Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.